That's almost 1,000 tons going up the hill, and our sand reserves are fast running out as well. So this is going to be one interesting run. I can't do anything more right now. We've got the sand on, we're in low. We've got as much power on as we can, and hopefully we're not going to stall. That's all she wrote. There's no more sand. Without sand, there's no traction up this hill. We are done. The train is stalled. No more sand. We can't continue without slipping the wheels, and that's it. This is what happens when you drive on a section of the track where you're not too familiar. I think we are at the point where we need to go right. So let's do that. To be honest with you, I think I might have taken the wrong turn just before. It's over there. I think that's where we need to be right now. And I think we've taken the wrong turn. Let's have a look at the map. But it could be... I'm not too... Holy crap, look at the RPMs. Oh, no. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Once again, welcome to new subscribers, and welcome back to those returning viewers as well. Much appreciated. I very much appreciate your viewership. This is episode 14 of my Derail Valley Simulator career mode playthrough. Now, we have been driving this at DM3 for the past few episodes now. Episode 12 and episode 13. So go ahead and check those out. Links in the description if you haven't already checked those out. And all the prior episodes to that in career mode as well so far. But yes, the DM3, the lovely DM3. I know most of you, a lot of you actually love this locomotive as well and enjoy this locomotive. So I thought I would give it another run today. And it is nice and bright and early in the morning, 5 AM right now in the game. And I thought I'd make an early start because we need to service this locomotive since the last episode. And yeah, I'll just put a card up above as well to episode 13 if you haven't already checked that one out. But yes, we did do a nice easy run in the last episode with this DM3. So we've only just taken a little bit of a dent in the fuel there. And there's a little bit of damage to the locomotive as well. And bits and pieces. But we'll go ahead and just pull into the service area now. We are situated here at Food Factory in Town. That's where we ended up last time in episode 13, and that's where we are right now. So yes, without further ado, I will pull into the service area, service shed in front of us, and we'll get this thing nicely serviced, refilled, and ready for this episode. Right, so I've got this thing running. I'm just going to pull forward now into the shed and just pull alongside that green panel that's on the left hand side there, that little control panel with all the levers and gauges and whatnot, and we'll be able to repair, refuel, re-oil, re-sand any sand that's been lost as well. Whoops, gone a little bit too far there. So yeah, okay, we'll have to sort that out, won't we? Yes, too far. So yes, this locomotive, for those of you who aren't quite familiar, has two gearboxes in it, and there's two gear levers on the far right there that you'll see in just a moment if you haven't already seen them. I'm just pulling into the service bay here, but yes, that's what makes this locomotive such a joy to drive, just having to manage those gears and things like that. You can very easily blow the engine up if you don't manage your gears properly with this thing as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and get the fuel going first, I think. So we'll go ahead. And this is the first time I've actually manually serviced this DM3, would you believe it, after having driven it for quite a while now in the game. I normally just do an automatic service. So yes, the fuel filler is up all the way like that. And that's how it looks when it's all plugged in. Very nice, very nice. So I'll go ahead and just add some diesel now. And yeah, just add other bits and pieces. We might just do a bit of damage repair as well on the locomotive. And it shouldn't cost us too much money because we are doing a manual service. So you see there, we've used about a third of our fuel since in that last episode of our diesel. So just go ahead and fill up that last third of fuel. So that's good. Sand, I think sand's okay. And let's see, oil. Add some oil. So yes, this manual servicing is worth it in career mode because you do save quite a bit of money by going through this whole rigmarole yourself. There is a bit of wheel damage there, as you can see. And a little bit of mechanical powertrain as well, but nothing to really write home about. Electrical powertrain is not applicable because this is not a diesel electric, it's a diesel mechanical. There's no electric motors in this locomotive. It's a diesel engine and a gearbox, basically. So, right, so that's $6,700 odd. So I think it costs around $11,000 to automatically service it. So yeah, we'll save quite a bit of money there, almost half by we've got basically a 50% discount by doing this manual service. So just thought I'd do this today. A little bit of a change in career mode. I don't normally show this as well, I guess, on video, but there you go. That's the process there for manually servicing the locomotive. Now, today is going to be a bit special as well because I'm going to be doing 2 jobs. All right, I've got the concurrent jobs 1 license, and you can see there the rain is not letting up, unfortunately. We had some rain. It was a bit soggy and foggy. That was the name of the last episode. And unfortunately the rain has not let up, so let's go ahead and just pull on out of here anyway, and we'll move into the yard where we will be taking our jobs from. There's 2 consists out there somewhere in the darkness that are awaiting us to be delivered to 2 different locations, so I'll go through that all with you very shortly as well. Let's just pull out of this servicing yard first, this servicing siding. I need to reverse all the way back and then pull in that direction, basically just over there. You can see it's really coming down, isn't it, rain wise. I've got 2 DE2s just parked up there nicely. I've had some good experience with those DE2s so far. I did do a video with the DE2s and the slug together. If you haven't seen that video, I will put a card up above on that one right now. Those DE2s kind of pair together well with the slug. Kinda. Right, anyway, let's pull on forward, just pulling into the yard here, and yes, we will be connecting to 2 sets of tankers basically in today's episode. One's going to the food factory, and the other one is going to Harbour and Town, and I'll just show those jobs in just a moment as well. Just want to make sure we get into the right sidings here as well, because I want to connect to these consists in a particular order, and they are flammable as well, by the way. They're all containing alcohol, so we are going to be hauling some alcohol today out of food factory. It makes sense that food factory kind of produces alcohol, doesn't it? And then it needs to get delivered to certain areas around the map, in this case to goods factory and to Harbour and Town. So yes, alright, let me get into the right siding, the correct siding here, and then we'll go from there. Oh, that thunder is really coming down. That rain is really coming down, and the thunder is just along for the ride as well, making things very, very interesting. Right, okay, so this is the siding we need to be in. So I'm just going to reverse up. I'm still moving, I realise as well. Let's put the brakes on. We'll just reverse in, and then I'm not going to go too far in. I'm just going to reverse, and then we'll kind of pause. I'll go and get those job cards from the station building just nearby. Just need to run through the rain to get them. And we'll do a bit of an overview of today's runs, I guess you could say. Not run, but there's 2 jobs we'll be doing at once. So we'll drop off 1 set of cars and then the other set. So let's go ahead and have a look at all of that right now, shall we? But yes, the first set of cars is directly in front of us, and then we'll pull in and take the other set after that. Alright, so here's the station building. There's some thunder. Station office, right. Okay, so here are those 2 jobs I was talking about, which we'll be taking today. One is FH68, and the other one there is FH24. Going to goods factory in town and Harbour and Town respectively. Now 20 grand and 54 grand, so that's a good 74 odd grand, and weight wise 420 ton and 504 ton. So all up, that's 924 ton that we're going to be pulling today. Now the DM3 can handle anywhere between about 800 to 1100 ton, more or less, but that is heavily dependent on the terrain and the weather. And today we have both against us. So pulling out of here, we've got a set of inclines right here that are really going to test us. And then, yeah, so what I'm thinking of doing is coming down here and then going across to goods factory for the first drop off there. Okay, and then once we've done that, we'll reverse out, and then we've got a choice. We can, well, we'll turn around obviously, and then we can either go up like this and then around that little loop and then down to Harbour and Town this way, or we can go ahead and once we come out of goods factory, we can turn left and just take the easy way. I think probably a slightly longer way, but a lot less treacherous coming along this way here, a lot less hills and things like that. Given the amount of weather out there right now, that might be the way to go, but I'm also tempted to go this way like this as well and do this whole loop-de-loop, but there's some really crazy hills up there as well. And that terrain around here, I haven't really gone through, don't really have too much experience with in Derail Valley, but we'll see how we go anyway when we get to potentially day 2 in this episode, because it's going to take probably 2 days in the game to do this, but yeah, we'll see how we go. That's 504 tons that we'll be dragging to Harbour and Town. The first drop off here, this is 420 tons, so we'll be getting rid of the slightly lighter consist first. And I want to put this slightly lighter consist at the rear of the train, so we'll be doing that. Let's go ahead and just validate these jobs so that we can start the ticker going. The countdown, the timer as it were, so we'll go ahead and just sort these out. So there's our 2 jobs validated, and basically the clock has begun, so hopefully we can get a time bonus for at least the first job here. And yeah, we'll have to go and just suss out where exactly these cars are, but yes, like I said, I did suss this out just before. But just coming into the yard here, oops, no, not this one, this is 94. We want 68 and 24. So this is 68, yes, and this is 24. So this is the one that we'll be dropping off last, this one right here, this consist. So we'll hook this up to the train first, and yeah, unfortunately it looks like the handbrake that's engaged is all the way on the other side of the train. Anyway, as and we can see they're flammable and hazardous materials here, so this will connect up to first because this is going to Harbour and Town, and then we'll switch and then connect up the other set. Just want to roll in nice and gentle there. Don't want to tempt fate with this kind of load because it is flammable and hazardous and whatnot. And we do know in Derail Valley, I haven't experienced it yet, or at least on camera. But yes, if you're not careful, things can explode and blow up, and then there's a whole chain reaction that you can cause. Anyway, let's go back to the rear of the train and take off that last handbrake. So this is the last handbrake. I'll just swing across and have a look at the other consist as well, because look at the time. It's almost 9 AM. See, this is why it's good to start early in the game, because time does pass. Yep, this is our other consist right here. This is the one that's going to goods factory and town. So 68. This is the one we want to put at the end of the train. Might as well just let this handbrake off as well. This is going to be one long train once we get these 2 consists connected up, that's for sure. So we're going to have to be very careful here as we take this train around the curves and whatnot. This is 68, so yep, that's the one. And obviously this is 24, as you can see here. So 24 we want at the front of the train, and then 68, which is going to goods factory. This is our first drop off. We want at the end of the train. Right. Okay, let's go ahead and connect up the second consist. Alright, so there's quite a bit of toing and froing I just did there. It's about 6 minutes worth of toing and froing. I didn't want to kind of bore you all with that. So I've set everything up and got the first and second consists now coming together to be joined, and then temporarily at least. Oh, that's a little bit fast. I have applied the handbrake there on that blue car, the one there directly over to the right hand side, just so that the train would stay compressed whilst I hooked everything up here. So we'll go ahead and start charging up the train. It's going to take a minute or 2 because there's quite a few wagons here to charge up brake pressure wise. While I was doing that, we'll just go ahead and take this handbrake off. So yes, the train is now connected up, temporarily joined, to be broken again once we reach the first drop off. So yeah, that's basically it. We can go ahead now, jump in the cab and get out of here. Right, so I think we're ready to go now. It's almost 10:30 in the morning, so time has been passing, and we'll do a little bit of a quick overview. I'll just put this map down in the cab here. It's a little bit dark because it's still quite early in the morning. Right, so we're here at Food Factory. Like I said, first order of business is to get out of here. So we'll be heading in a easterly direction, up some crazy hills here. There's a few little hills to contend with, and then we'll be bearing down here towards goods factory and town. Okay, so these are the hills right here, directly in front of us actually, that we'll need to just be careful about, because yeah, we do have 900 plus tons behind us right now, And yeah, this thing is a torque monster, but also that means that it does run quite slowly. It's a bit of a crawler, okay, if you will. Right, let's just signal our intent, go into low, get a little bit of sand going, and then gently, hopefully, start this train moving. Here we go, here we go. Okay, brakes were still applied, that's why it wasn't moving. Anyway, and I've got the sand going at the same time. Yep, sand's on. Now with this sand you want to be very careful as well not to waste it, because it's a finite resource. So I'm going to turn that off as much as I can. Whoops, okay, maybe not that much. I need to keep it going just a little bit, because this thing will slip the wheels otherwise. The good thing with the DM3 is its sanding is incremental. It's not just on or off. So you can save a bit of sand by just applying a little bit, if you can get away with that at least. Right, so I'm just going through the gears here. We're in 1, 2, we just grinded the heck out of our gearbox there. So yes, anywhere between around 600 to 800 RPM is good. Anything more than that, obviously, it is a diesel engine, so high RPMs it's not very happy with. You can actually blow the engine up or blow the gearbox up, or both, if you over rev the engine. So yeah, hopefully that's not going to be an omen for today's run. But so far doing well, pulling out of here. But yes, we are very early days, folks. The train needs to start up this hill, and with every moment that goes by right now, more and more of the train is going onto the hill. Oops. Okay, I probably downshifted a little bit too far there, because we're down, well, we're all the way up at 1000 RPM, but I'm kind of preempting the hill climb right now, so I anticipate that it's going to be one long slog up this hill. And we don't want to stall the train either. Yeah, we're just into the sweet spot for the RPMs. So yeah, to be honest with you, we're going to be doing quite a bit of low speed crawling today, unfortunately, but that's just the way that it goes. Come on. We're doing okay. Even though it seems like it's slowing down, this thing will just hang on by its fingernails, as it were, and just creep up the hill at just a snail's pace. But having said that, it all really depends on the load that you've got as well. If it's just too much load, it's not going to obviously do it. But we've got just under 1,000 tons, so we are still within the capacity limits for this locomotive, I believe. The one thing I'm just mindful of is not using too much sand. So doing okay so far up this first hill. And our first drop off, as mentioned, is goods factory and town. So we're heading in that direction right now. Doing okay, doing okay. We'll keep it going. Doing a good pace up the hill, not quite crawling just yet. The hill is not actually too bad. There are some worse inclines ahead of us still. But the good thing with this job is, well, the weather's holding out at least so far. So the rain has stopped. So hopefully that means we're not going to be using as much sand as we normally would if it was raining like it was before, because the rail's not going to be wet anymore. Right, there's a junction coming up. We do need to make sure soonish. Well, we do need to get over that hill in front of us first, but shortly or soon enough we'll be having to turn to the right. So unfortunately we're not quite out of the woods yet. I'm just having to manage this sander. We're back to low, folks. We are in the lowest gear possible right now, because that is a 2% grade in front of us. So unfortunately things are starting to get a bit serious now, incline wise. this next section is just going to be a whole bunch of slogging, hard slogging. Having said that, I'll see if I can get away with a slightly higher gear ratio, because I've got the feeling that a higher gear ratio will give you less wheel slip. Sorry, a higher gear, not a high gear ratio, but a higher gear. A more high-speed gear should result in less wheel slip, less torque, but hopefully finding the sweet spot there and not having to use too much sand, that's the main thing here. So this is going to be a bit of a long run today, folks, but yes, I've put some chapters in this video anyway, so you can take it piecemeal by piecemeal if you like. And like I said, it's going to take probably around 2 days to do this run, so hopefully by the end of day 2 we'll be in a good position to call this thing and pick up our big payday, and we'll be done for episode 14. Well, let's not jinx anything, shall we? Okay, even with that 2% grade, yeah, the worst of it is ahead of us. Look at that. That is... You can even see, just looking at those rails there, you can see how they just... Yeah, right around there as well. Look at that. You can definitely see that incline in the landscape. So, yep. We're just about to enter the worst of it right here. So, get the popcorn out. This is going to be interesting. Up we go. I am in 1-2 at the moment, so that is 2 gears in from low gear. So it's like we're in 2nd gear at the moment, if that makes sense. We can go down 1 more gear. I'm just worried about the sand there. Look at that, we're almost down to half sand remaining already, so not good, not good. Don't want to run out of sand because, yeah, having to use the sand again. And we need to watch our oil temps as well. Don't want to overheat the transmission. It's not over yet, folks. Look at that. That's almost 1,000 tons going up the hill, and our sand reserves are fast running out as well. So this is going to be one interesting run, trying to drag this 1,000-ton-ish train, or almost 1,000 tons up these hills in Derail Valley, and hopefully we'll make it. Gearbox temps are elevated, but RPMs are still just over 600, so just within the happy zone there. We'll keep this thing going. We're in low. I don't really want to put full throttle on because that's just going to overheat the gearbox as well. So we'll just have to go 1 notch back from full, I think. That's normally the best way to do this. Yeah, see that it's getting very hot right now on the oil temps. They're flashing away. We're in low as well with the sand on. Come on, come on. I can't do anything more right now. We've got the sand on, we're in low. We've got as much power on as we can. And hopefully we're not going to stall. Really, it's just a matter of hoping and praying that the sand doesn't run out before we're done with these hills, I think, because that is the biggest consideration here on the way to Goods Factory in town. And I must say, it's not a long distance, but it's just the fact that there are so many hills getting there that's going to make this a bit of a long slog, ladies and gents. But I'm hoping once we do this first drop off, we're going to be more or less out of the woods, because then we'll be down to about a 500 ton of load behind us once we get rid of this 400 ton consist at Goods Factory. So yeah, just keep hanging on, and if we need to refill sand at Goods Factory, we can as well, and fuel for that matter. So we're doing okay. We're not stalling the train. That's the main thing. We'll use the sand if we need it. Oh, it's getting low though. It's down past halfway. I'm trying to manage the throttle. to use the minimal amount of sand possible, if not none. Sometimes it's worth dropping the throttle down a few clicks, a few notches. If that means that the train can keep moving and you're not using sand or less sand, then that's always good. Okay, sanding off. Yes, okay, sand's off. Sand's off and we're not wheel spinning. That's what we want, because having to rely on the sand is not good. Let's go into 1-2 here. I'm regretting that already. That was probably not a good idea. Yeah, see that? We should have just stayed. Could have stayed in 1-1 just there and not used the sand. Now we're stuck using the sand in 1-2. So, and we're increasing our oil temps. So really, you can see here that it just comes down to careful management of your throttle, your gears, and yeah, those are the two main things with the DM3. I could probably take the sand back off now, but let's just see how it goes first. Okay, we're stabilized once again. Like I said, this thing is a torque monster, but we are going to be doing some hard slogs here on the hills, folks. There goes the wheel spin again. I'm going to have to get off the throttle just a little bit. Having to rely on the sand is not ideal because it's a finite resource, like I mentioned. So if you have to use the sand just to keep moving, it's not good, because that sand will run out eventually and then you'll be high and dry. These hills won't last forever. We will soon be over the hump, as it were, and then we'll be going down the other side, and then we'll have a new problem, and that is trying to manage this thing going down the hill. So lots of engine braking and train braking will be required once we start heading down the hill. Okay, sand reserves are coming down right now. A bit of an update. We are reaching this first set of points here, which we do need to make sure we head off to the right, and we are already, so those points are set correct. I'm just waiting for this hill to just be done already, and we are pretty much staring at a level section of track ahead of us there, and then eventually a downhill after that. So we are more or less right around here at the moment. We've left Food Factory, and that's the amount of progress we've done so far from FF. We've made it up this incline, and yeah, we're coming up to that little junction there, and then there's a downhill section. But then there's more of an uphill section just before Goods Factory, so we'll need to be ready for that as well. So we'll need more sand there, unfortunately. But yes, right now, I'm just trying to nurse this thing over the hump, over the peak of this incline. Unfortunately, we've got a huge long train still on the hill behind us, so we're not quite out of the woods yet, but very shortly we will be. So you can see there the sander is on. That amber light is bright, is lit up. I can't even increase the throttle in low too much further than this, because I'll get wheel spin, and I don't want to pile on more sand. I'm not using full sand, I'm just using a touch only where required. So yeah, once we get into that sort of area there in front of us, where that right around where I'm showing there, then it's going to be downhill, so, or it'll begin to be a downhill soon after. But yes, what we have in front of us is level ground. Alright, let's just turn off the sand. Nope, there goes the wheel spin. And when the wheels are spinning, the speedo will lie at you, because the wheels are spinning faster than the train is actually going. So you can see there, we've actually almost stalled the engine, because yeah, we were spinning the wheels just for that few seconds. So it doesn't take much to stall this train at a slow speed. When you've got this much weight behind you, you need your wits about you. Okay, level ground, that's what the sign says, but obviously you've got a lot of carriages behind us that are still on the hill. So they're still hanging behind us, dragging us back. But with every passing second now, more and more of these wagons are going over this level section where that sign is. And we should start to see a little bit of relief as more and more of the train enters this level section. So no, I don't think we're ready to turn off the sand yet. Oh, hang on. No, it's still spinning, even with the reduced throttle there. So almost there, folks, almost there, almost out of the woods for now. And then we'll start our downhill run down this section of track. I think we're going to be doing quite a bit of wheel damage in this episode, unfortunately. Or in this leg, at least, to Goods Factory. Not quite ready yet. A large section of the train is still going up that hill, as you can see. But, okay, I can start to hear the train speeding up now, so we've got a good, well, I don't know, almost a dozen carriages, I guess, on the level section, so we can actually start to gain a bit of speed now. I'm just going to start shifting up a bit. Yep, and we can see there, that's a downhill section there, 1 point something, minus 1 point something degrees, or percent, sorry. So that's good. We're going to stop that sand, and the sand is very dire. The sand situation is very dire. I'm not actually sure that we'll have enough to get up to Goods Factory, because there is quite a long snaking section of incline before we get to our first destination here. So I'm a little bit worried about that, actually. And just as we go over the hill, the rain starts. So, phew, just made it. That's good. At least the weather's been somewhat kind to us. Hopefully the weather stops before we have to go up that hill in front of Goods Factory. But right now, in just a moment, we're going to have another problem. And that is slowing the train down. So I can already hear the engine rising there in tempo. And you can see that on the RPM gauge as well. So I'm going to start applying some engine brake. That's what that lever there is. And ooh, if you apply too much, you'll begin to slide the wheels, as you can hear. You can hear that wheel, that metal grating sound there. I'm going to have to use the train brake here. So now we've got the opposite problem. Now we've got a whole... Ooh, okay, let's keep the engine brake on. We're going to over-rev otherwise. It's not what we want. Over-revving the engine is a no-no in this DM3, because you will blow the gearbox or the engine, and or both. And we can't afford to do that. So let's try and keep this train under control here. We're going to need at least 1 bar of braking, I think, constantly. And even that's not going to be enough, but let's just keep 1 bar going as this huge heavy train begins to push us down the hill now. So yes, definitely a interesting run with 1,000 ton behind you, more or less, isn't it? Right, so we have made it to the set of points now that is directly in front of Goods Factory and town. Noticing that train down the hill was, yeah, it was quite an experience there. Bit of engine braking and whatnot to be used, but important thing is we made it so far, but our sand levels are very, very low. So on the map we are more or less in this section here, just leading up to Goods Factory and town. The last set of points, which we need to go off to the left, which we are. Right, now in preparation for this hill, I'm just going to put the power right on, because we need to get as much speed as we can. We've more or less just crossed that little junction there. We're about to go up that hill, so this is going to be the real test now, whether we can get over this hill with the minimal amount of sand that we've got. Let's just suss out where we need to leave these wagons. D6I, okay, yep. So the D yard, which is basically at the very end of the goods factory and town siding there at the very bottom. So we'll need to use a little bit of ingenuity to drop off those wagons. I just realized as well, because it's a dead end, we're gonna have to come through and I'll work it out anyway once we get there. The most important thing is obviously getting up the hill, which is about to begin, so hopefully we can make it up without too much ado. Got some good speed, but we're going to lose all this momentum very shortly, I'm sure. Come on, we're in the sweet spot, but this engine is not going to be able to hold this momentum. The gearbox is very hot right now, so I'm just getting off the throttle slightly. Oh no. You know what? I think we might not have enough sand here. Come on. Gonna have to start downshifting shortly. $80k now limit. That's not gonna happen, is it? Okay. Alright, got a bit of buffer on our temps. I'm going full throttle, but we are in 3.2, so we're gonna have to shift down. We'll go to 3.1, but even that's not gonna be enough. Next down from here is 2.2. So we'll have to shift down again, I think. And then before you know it, we'll be raiding the sand stores, which are not gonna last very long. So it's very possible we might stall, and then I'll have to run ahead and get some more sand. So let's go 2-1. Oh, there goes the wheel spin. Yep, okay, and here comes the sand, which is gonna run out in very due course shortly. Let's see, I'll just try and get as far up this hill as we can. If we had enough sand, we could get up here, but something tells me we're going to run out. Slow going. This incline ahead of goods factory, I should have known this was going to happen. And you know what? I'm thinking now I should have switched the consists around. What I could have done was put the goods factory and town consist first behind me instead of last, and that way I could have split the train and just taken the train, only half the train up this hill instead of the whole consist. But oh well, live and learn. Hopefully we've got enough sand to get us as close as possible, if not into goods factory. Okay, sand's running very low, folks. It's going to run out any second now, and once it does, you're going to hear those wheels begin to slip, and that's going to signal the end of this run. There we go. We've just run out of sand. Okay, we need that sand. Without sand, we can't continue up this hill. I think we've got... Yep. Okay, I think that's it. That's it. That's all she wrote. Last ditch attempt to keep this thing moving. I'm just shifting up to a higher gear, but I don't think that's going to save us, unfortunately. I've just gone into 2-1, which is like third gear now in the gearbox. Actually, that might keep us moving. That might just keep us moving, but we are crawling. The sand is gone. Oh no. That's it. That's all she wrote. There's no more sand. Without sand, there's no traction up this hill. So I think we are done here, folks. We are done. The train is stalled. No more sand. We can't continue without slipping the wheels, and that's it. Right, well the day's getting on, and without much further ado, I think what I'm going to have to do here is just put the handbrakes on this consist, this big long consist here, and disconnect it. And what I will do is just apply the brakes first, is pull on ahead into goods factory. The locomotive is still serviceable, so I'm going to go ahead and just refill the sand at goods factory, and then come back here, and then we'll resume our run up this hill with our sand. So just bear with me while I do this. I'm just gonna have to pull forward here, and hopefully the consist will still be here when we get back, because it is stuck on an uphill section at the moment, so hopefully those brakes will hold it. So I'll check in with you all shortly. Just going to get some sand from goods factory and then return back, and we'll resume our hill climb. Right, so I'm just pulling in here to the servicing bay at the goods factory, where we need to drop off our first set of wagons. And what I'm going to do is just fill up the sand because it's empty. And our fuel has come down to about 2/3 as well. That's $600 worth of sand, almost $700, $667 worth of sand, which we've just used so far. So now we've got full sand once again. Let's head on back and reconnect to those wagons and deliver them already. So let's go. I'll check back in with you actually once we are at those wagons again. Thankfully the consist is waiting right where we left it, so that's good. We're just going to gently bump into them here. We'll go ahead and reconnect everything back up. It's going to take a hot minute to recharge the train, but that should be fine. Actually, yes, we will need to recharge the train there. So we'll let that hiss away for the moment, and yeah, we'll continue going. Let's take these handbrakes back off now. The brakes should start coming off here. Right, reverser forward. Brakes are, yeah, well, there's a lot of recharging going on right now, so that's going to take one hot minute to occur. And yeah, this is a long train after all, so we'll just give that one moment, and we'll be out of here. Right, brakes are coming off. Come on, let's go. What's going on? I'm going to put the brakes on. I just realized something actually. I'm in the wrong gear. I'm still in top gear. What am I doing? Of course we're not going to go anywhere. Let's go low, folks. Come on. Day is getting on. The day is getting on, folks. Okay, good on the old DM3. I managed to pick this train up from a dead stop on this incline. That's true DM3 style, that one. Not sure what the brakes are doing here, but I'm just going to return them to running. The brakes are off. Sand is full. We have used a little bit just now. Yes, we'll pull into goods factory, and yes, we'll have to spend the night here at goods factory. I think this will be the end of day one, and then we should be good to continue in the morning in the game with our second consist, second drop off over to Harbour End Town. Okay, here's the tunnel, so we're basically right on the boundary of goods factory now. Just running into here, and to be honest with you, I haven't used much sand going up this hill now, because I managed to figure out a good combo of throttle setting and gear ratio there. So anyway, all that sand getting was probably not quite required, but it was required because we did stall in the end, so kind of needed just that little pinch of sand just to keep us, just to get us going there, but not currently using any more. So just gonna roll right in here and dump these cars at the siding, which is D6I, I think, from memory. So that's all the way around. Right, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to bear off to the right hand side here, and we're going to go around this sharp curve, I guess you could say. Once we go through this, once we go through this right-hander, we'll keep going straight, and then it's going to curve us all the way back around to the platforms. And then once I've done that, I can just back the train in, and that's the best way to do this, because there's a dead end otherwise, and I won't be able to get the end of the train into the siding, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to do that now, and we'll get that all sorted out. Right, so just pulling forward here, far enough so that I can get the end of the train through those points, and then I'm going to back the train up. So we'll have a look and see just where that train is at. Actually, I should go ahead and just set the points up as well for the siding that we're going into. Almost through. I've got the brakes on, but I have a feeling that I've applied slightly too much brake slightly too soon, because these are the points where I need to go through, and I think the train is going to stop short. Oh well, might as well just go ahead and set these points up in the siding. So this is going to be the delivery of the first consist here to Goods Factory in town, and then tomorrow morning, all things going well, we'll be passing over that aqueduct in the distance there, and delivering the second load to Harbour and Town. So let's get this thing moving. Check this out. I want to show you something here. If I hop out of this train, you can see that I'm in this level crossing. I can see the other side of the train all the way on the other side. How crazy is that? That is one long train, folks. It's curved all the way around, and there's the end of it there. So how crazy is that? Anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm just going to go ahead and set the points here so that they are going to take us into the siding where we need to be. This set of points right here. So we'll just do that, and now reverse in, and then we'll obviously dump this first consist into that siding. Right, so just reversing in now, and just got to make sure that we get enough of the cars obviously into the siding, but not too many. We'll just hop out and just have a look here and just make sure that we've got the right amount of cars, because we don't want to put the wrong cars into the siding here. Got the lantern going. It's getting quite late, folks. I want to sort this drop off out already, and then we'll spend the night here before continuing for day 2. So we'll just make sure this is all kosher. Right, so I've broken the train up here, because this is basically the section where the cars, the second consist begins. Okay, so that's the difference between 24 and 68 on the cars. You can see there, that's 24, and if we come here, it says 68. So 68 is the first drop-off job there. So 68 onwards, back down that way in the siding, which is what we want in D6I. So our job, half the job is done. So let's go ahead and, yep, D6I. We'll go ahead to the station building now and validate this job, get our cash, and then spend the night here. Right, so here's the station office here at Goods Factory and Town. And today we have made a little bit of progress, I think, from Food Factory to Goods Factory. It doesn't seem like a very long distance. Here we are. So we came from Food Factory. We climbed that incline out of Food Factory, and then, yeah, we kind of struggled for a bit coming up to Goods Factory and Town as well. So we had a set of inclines here. And then we came downhill here, and then there was another set of hills here that ran out of sand, unfortunately. So I had to go get more sand and then come back and continue. So anyway, we're finally here. Tomorrow morning we'll come down probably this way over to Harbour and Town for the second drop-off. Or, like I said, probably do this loop-de-loop and come up around here and take the overpass past where we are now and down to Harbour and Town that way. We'll have to see which way we go anyway. But yes, that is for tomorrow's job in the game. I think we'll go ahead and just take some, get some sleep now. It's pretty much midnight, around midnight anyway. So yeah, we'll get to sleep, and we'll continue this tomorrow. Okay, folks, so it's day 2 now, and it is raining once again in Derail Valley. Not having much luck these days, am I? In career mode, it really has been pouring down. Nice and early start once again, 6 AM. And one thing I want to do is just get a bit of diesel into that DM3 before we leave here, because we are down to about half a tank. And I should have actually done that yesterday in day 1, just as I was getting sand. So, but I didn't do that, did I? But anyway, we can do that now. no need to reprint active orders. I've got the active order here, the second job that we're doing today, and that is the last job. That's the last drop off, 54K's worth, 54 grand. That's the big money paying one. So I've decided I'll probably go, well, I'm not too sure. I can either go down this way to Harbour and Town, or I can take the other way, which is a little bit more treacherous and hilly, but a shorter way, I reckon, and a little bit less traversed in my experience at least. So it might be a little bit more hazardous, but I'm thinking actually I'll go down this way, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm going to go up this way, do the loop-de-loop, come down on the overpass, past where we are now, and down to Harbour and Town. So that should be an interesting run for day 2. So let's get into it. Right, so just making my way towards the locomotive here, the consist. Where on earth? Oh, yep, never mind, that's the end of the train. There's the train where we broke the train. So that's the old job, and look at that, it's already gotten the new code. Interesting. So I guess this needs to be probably shunted. I think it's got an SU code on there. I believe that's just shunting. FH is freight haul, so yeah, it's now wanting those wagons to be shunted, but I'm not doing that now. I still got to deliver this second consist right here. And look, I've got a DH4 here and a DE2. DH4, very competent locomotive, that one. Go ahead and check out card up above. I did leave a, I did make a video there pulling fairly reasonable load with the DH4 recently. You can go ahead and check that out if you haven't already, that video. Right, okay, let's hop into the old DM3 for now. And yes, let's get this show on the road once again. So the way on out of here is just directly ahead of us. And I do need to get fuel, like I was just saying, because I don't want to tempt fate here. I've got half a tank, could probably make it to Harbour and Town. Then again, going the way I want to go, that treacherous hilly route, is going to be a little bit taxing, I think, on the old fuel tank, because the more this thing crawls at slow speeds, fuel economy goes right out the window. So yeah, let me put some fuel in, and yeah, we'll go from there. But I'm not going to bore you all with that. I'm going to just basically hop into the fuel servicing bay right now, and I'll put some fuel in right now. Right, so here's the diesel. It's all connected up. I'm going to just go ahead and add some more fuel to this thing, because she's a hungry gal, this one. This locomotive is, especially that slow speed running, crawling and all that, really does use up quite a bit of diesel. So that's another $2,667 worth, and the engine is running. That's why it's continually just chipping away at the fuel there. But that's fine. I've got a full tank. Right, let's reverse out and reconnect the consist, and then we'll be heading out of here. It's a beautiful day. Ooh, that's a bit fast, but that's fine. Could have just taken the edge off that speed just a little bit. Now what I've done here is I haven't drained all the air out of these cars when I disconnected them, and I did that by closing the brake valve first. You can see there it's closed, so that way I don't have to wait so long for it to recharge the whole train now. It's basically, brakes are released and it's good to go. So that's a little trick if you want to get moving fast. Right, so day 2, here we go, folks. Yep, I did leave this handbrake on just now, just in case. Stop the train moving while I refueled. So here we go, day 2, getting out of here. And hopefully it's going to be a mostly uneventful run to Harbour and Town in the old DM3. And then we'll pick up our second pay packet here, and then we shall be calling it a day. Now, one thing to be mindful of as we make our way out of goods factory is we're going down this hill now instead of going up it. This hill that we struggled upon yesterday evening, we're going down, so obviously got to make sure that we now this is the decision point here. Normally I would go left, but I'm gonna go right, and this will take us the other way up towards the top of the map and around that little loop-de-loop section. It's going to be a bit slower, but it might be a bit more interesting. Hopefully not too interesting. We don't want to cause any trouble now at this late stage of the episode. Just want to keep things moving as we head northward, backtracking a little bit the way we came yesterday. I'm already kind of regretful. I'm actually thinking maybe I should have actually just gone left and just taken the easy way, but anyway. This is Oil Well North. Actually, no, that is Oil Well North. We need to be going left, not right. Otherwise, we'll be heading into Oil Well, which we don't want to be doing. Okay, so we're heading towards that loop-de-loop section shortly. We're in top gear here, got full throttle, but I'm going to have to shift down to 2-3. Just get the revs up a little bit. Well, the revs are quite high, just have to watch those. Revving the engine out. This is a little bit of an incline here, if I'm not, if I recall correctly. We've just gone through that set of points there, so we're coming up this little incliney section once again. We've got a full load of sand and diesel, so away we go, folks. Back through here. As much as there's some inclines this way, I'm hoping it is a shorter way to go to Harbour and Town at the end of the day, so we'll see. Back into top and keep that power going. I want to try and keep the speed up. Yep, so we're working our way up here. The next junction is going to be a right-hander. So we're about here, we'll be going up, make sure we go right, and then that will be beginning our loop-de-loop around, and then turn right after that to go south. So we're going up to come back down a little bit, I realize. So it might be a little bit out of the way, but I think it is a shorter distance overall, so just shift down a little bit just to keep the engine happy. I think I'm revving the engine out a little bit too much here, but the train is going to be slowing down, so I want to keep the engine in that happy rev zone as well. So there we go. It's down to 800 RPM now. Alright, we're slowed right down, but I'm still, whoops. Fell off the train, fell off the locomotive. Oh, just on the side here. Oh. There's no side steps as far as I can tell, but that was lucky. Anyway, yes, we have slowed right down, so I think soon we're going to have to go into low even, because, yeah, our RPMs have dropped way down as well. So I'm just holding it for the moment, holding speed, but might have to shift down soon. This is like a never-ending. We've got less weight on the train now, but it's still kind of struggling. So I'm in 3-1 at the moment in gear-wise. That's about halfway through the gearbox. So it's like I'm in 5th gear out of, what is it, about 8th gear. So yeah, there's still a few gears I can shift down to get to a lower gear. We'll see how we go. Just continuing our tempo up this hill. Seems to be never ending, but we'll be making our way around that loop soon. And then hopefully it's going to be more or less downhill to Harbour and Town after that. Shifted down to 2-2 now, so made our way a little bit further down in the gearbox towards lower gears. Okay, so I'm estimating that we are more or less in this position here. We're coming up to that set of points soon, which we're going to have to make sure we go off to the right. And yeah, then we'll begin that loop-de-loop around. So yeah, not far away now. Making some good progress so far this morning. Okay, so there's a set of points ahead of us, which we need to go to the right. If we go left, we'll be heading back to Food Factory. So I don't want to do that. We're going off to the right. I'm going to have to shift down a little bit, because here come even more inclines, unfortunately. 30k an hour limit. So you know that the track is tight around here. So here comes the loop, which more and more I'm beginning to regret going this way, but oh well, that's what we've done, isn't it? That's what I've done. Decisions that you make, or that I make, and you got to deal with the consequences. So keep this train moving. Yeah, if we were going the other way towards the southern side of the map, we'd be going a lot faster right now, but covering more distance too. Round we go, round we go. Through this tunnel. Okay, got more of an incline coming up. Engine revs are very happy, probably at the limit almost. There, 2.2% grade in front of us, so I'm going to keep it in this gear, I think, and just let the revs naturally come down as we go up this hill. And then with that will come a rise in oil temps. But Oil temps have a good buffer right now, so we should be okay from that point of view. Okay, oil temps have started to rise. I think we've actually started going up more of a hill now. So yeah, the RPM's going to start dropping now, I'm sure. Yep, I can hear the tempo dropping. The rhythm of the engine, she's under some load once again. The poor DM3 never stops labouring, this poor DM3, does it? We really are putting her to good work today. Okay, I might have to start shifting down shortly in through the gearbox here. We're in 2-1. So, oh, there goes the wheel spin. Okay, alright. Oh, no time. We've lost too much momentum. Straight back to, I missed 1-2, went straight back to 1-1 there, gear ratio wise. Just open up the sander. And thus begins the struggle. And this is the beginning of the loop now, so here we go. Such a bad idea, I think. Oh well. This is what makes things interesting, isn't it? Just going a little bit of a different way this time, and hopefully it doesn't cause us any trouble. Okay. Alright, we'll just continue on straight through the tunnel, and we should be looping around. You can see there that sound reserves have come down slightly, but still heaps of sand. Our fuel's come down a bit. We're down to 2/3, so I'm glad that I did fill up when I did. Is that 2/3 fuel? More or less, I guess. Probably 3/4 actually remaining fuel. Now that I look at it further, but okay, at least I did fill up fuel and filled up sand, so once we get past this loop, it's gonna be, there's not gonna be many hills after that, and then once we go past that overpass for goods factory, then it's gonna be mostly downhill to Harbour and Town, so we'll keep it going, keep it going. Poor old DM3 lugging hard once again, early in the morning. The work never stops for the DM3. Okay, I'm just trying to get a bit of a fix on our location at the moment. I think we have passed the loop. So there should be a right-hand turn coming up soon. Because the loop, to be honest with you, I'm not too sure, but there should be a right-hander after the loop to start our journey southwards. And that sign up ahead says that it is, yeah, there is a junction, so okay, I think I will get ready with the comms radio here. This is what happens when you drive on a section of the track where you're not too familiar, and the lack of that GPS marker really isn't helping right now as well. I should be paying more attention. I think we are at the point where we need to go right, so let's do that. And I'm hoping this will take us down south, basically. Looks like we've got a bit of speed, so oops. At the same time, I want to make sure that we are in the happy zone for the revs. To be honest with you, I think I might have taken the wrong turn just before. Instead of going right, I probably should have left that switch in the left position, because on the left hand side there, yeah, just over there, I think that's where we need to be right now. And I think we've taken the wrong turn. I think maybe we've turned a little bit too early, so let's have a look at the map and have a bit of a look-see and see what's going on here. So I thought that we turned right here, but it could be, I'm not too, holy crap, look at the RPMs, oh no, no! Oh no. Oh no. There goes the engine, folks. That's it. No more DM3. This is actually quite serious now because there is no engine, and well, I haven't tried starting the engine, but I'm sure that the engine is basically cooked, and we are basically just going on momentum right now, and I don't think that's going to carry us very far because I'm sure there's still some inclines ahead of us, and to be honest with you, we are heading in the wrong direction. I believe we took a right-hand turn in the wrong direction, and we're probably heading towards a military base potentially. So once this thing stops, I'm gonna hop out and have a little bit of a look around and just try and get our bearings. But in either case, this is the end, folks, of day 2, and this is the end of the episode, I think, because we've got no more motive power, so there's nothing more to be done here. Just a beautiful DM3 has been completely ruined. The gauges are all smashed, everything, the engine's completely cooked, gearbox is probably gone. Yes, I think that's it. There is no more to be said here. But I'm going to go out and just evaluate the situation anyway. Run, Forrest, run is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just trying to get my bearings because I think, and I'm pretty sure we've gone in the wrong direction. I can hear some jets flying overhead. I think that means we are near the military base somehow. So, but yeah, I'll check back in with you shortly. Right, so we are, well, if I look behind me, I can see the military base in the distance, okay? So that means if I came from here, and yeah, I've basically figured this out, folks. I have done this incorrectly, and this is entirely my bad. As I was coming up out of goods factory in town, I started on that loop. I took this right-hand section. Well, I was meant to come down this way, but what happened was, as I started this loop, so as I came up, I took this right-hander right here, and that was the mistake, right there. I should have continued going to the left and gone around that loop, but because I went right, now we've gone up here and basically blew up the DM3, and we're somewhere in this area right here. I myself, I'm closer to military base MB, but yes, that's where we are at the moment. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of this episode for now. I think I'm gonna have to call it because yeah, there's nothing more that really can be done today. I think I'm gonna run back towards the DM3. Might have to camp out there, I think, and spend the night. And episode 15 is going to be an interesting one. I have no idea what we're gonna do. Might have to go to Food Factory on foot, grab another locomotive. Hopefully not all the way down to Goods Factory because that's quite a distance away now on foot. But yes, episode 15 should be an interesting one indeed. So anyway, let's head back to the DM3 anyway in the meantime. And we'll have a think. I'll have a think about on the way back what I'm going to do. This is what it's come down to, folks. It's, well, 6 p.m. in the evening, just past 6. And I'm slowly making my way back to the DM3, just walking through this marshland here. And I'm rather sad at the moment because, yeah, we have lost the DM3. I can't believe I actually stupidly over-revved the engine like that and completely ruined it. So the reason why it over-revved as well is because we were going in a downhill section of track and the train must have just been pushing this thing because the throttle wasn't open that high. Novice mistakes, I tell you. Anyway, I'll continue back to the train. Okay, made it back, and it's getting a little bit later now in the evening. I'm going to just do one last evaluation of the situation, but yeah, basically I cannot move this DM3 the way it sits right now. Derail Valley, I was going to say, has struck really bad this time. I think episode 14. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to release the brakes and see if we can't roll this train backwards. It doesn't seem to want to move, and the starter's not working. So the engine is completely cooked, folks. There is no way this thing is going to, even if the engine wasn't cooked, the gearbox is completely gone anyway. So and unfortunately I've let the brakes off and it's not moving, so I'm not sure what's going on here. The handbrake is off. There are no brakes on the train at the moment. Handbrakes are off, but she still doesn't want to move. So stuck in place, I think, at the moment. This is going to be interesting for the old save game. I can't go back now, and this is completely unscripted. This was not meant to happen, but it happened. So, yeah, it's done. It's done. There's nothing. It's not moving. It's not even rolling backwards. I was hoping we could roll back somehow, maybe towards goods factory. I don't know. The thing is, with the engine not running, I can't charge the brakes up as we continue, if we were to continue moving this thing somehow with gravity. So I don't know, I can hardly read the brake gauge there, but I think what I'm gonna have to do in the next episode is continue on foot, like I said just earlier, and go to the nearest station and see if I can't get maybe something hefty like a DH4, I reckon. If not, probably 2 DE2s potentially, and I might even have to hook them to the rear of this train. And yeah, and see if we can't continue our run to Harbour and Town that way. I'm going to try and preserve the air here. To be honest with you, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Well, that's it, folks. I think we'll call it here anyway. I'm on this little hillside just beside the train. The sun is rapidly going down. We would have been at Harbour and Town if everything went alright, but I've spent a lot of the afternoon just running around here and there, just trying to get my bearings, and I finally found out I was at the military base. But this is it. This is what happened. Unfortunately, sometimes things don't go to plan, as we've seen. So yes, is this the end of career mode? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I can rescue this train. I've got a fair amount of cash in the old walletto as well. So if need be, I shudder to think what the repair costs are going to be for the old DM3. But I've got enough cash to cover the co-pay anyway. And we haven't derailed the entire train anyway. It could have been a lot worse. I'm going to have to get some sort of helper locomotive to help us complete this journey back to Harbour and Town anyway. So until next time, I guess, I shall see you all soon. And leave a comment below as well if you... what you think about this entire situation. Like and subscribe as well, obviously, if you haven't subscribed already. If you like the video as well, like it please. And yes, I don't like it. Alright, I'll catch you all in the next one.